Everybody. This is our daily astrology weather forecast for the 11th of October 2024, and it is a very full day. Yesterday was crazy, wasn't it? That solar storm with the 1010 portal, um, retrograde Jupiter in there. Now we have the energy of Pluto direct. Oh, thank God. Thank God. And you just heard the girls sound off on that, because that's a big deal when it comes to the energies that are afoot here. All right, so let's start with the inner stuff, then we'll move to the outer stuff. And we're just gonna move over here where there's less barking too. So first thing, we have Moon coming into Aquarius midday, about 12:30 Eastern time, and it does make a square. No, conjunction, of course, a conjunction to Pluto on its way out the door. So there is a crescendo of the energy of internal change. That is a peak thing today with the inner planets. Now we're looking at Mercury in conjunction to Uranus. Oh my God. Woo! This is an interesting one. When this happens, you do not know what you're going to say or what you're going to do in a group situation or how something is going to strike you. It's such a weird aspect because Mercury is common communication, and it's what we commonly hear. It's the advice we give and receive, the conclusions we come to. Uranus is group situations. It's what comes out of the blue. It's what is really individual, liberated. It's so, when this occurs, we are so out of step with what the group is looking for or what is common or really what kind of communication and what kind of delivery that is appropriate or needed for that moment. These two things are seriously out of alignment. So we speak out of turn. And we can speak in a very knee-jerk way that has us not being able to be effective in our delivery. So we need to practice mindfulness before we lead, before we speak, before we offer something, because things are more we have more chance of failure when it comes to missing the mark or having people get what it is that we're saying. And we can also be not receptive to advice that's good for us, it's grounded, that's what we need to hear. So we can push away practical advice, and others can push away what it is, especially in group settings. Others can push away what it is that we offer because our arguments are not packaged well. We may have good things to say. We may even have brilliant things to say. That's the funny thing with this in conjunction. We can be right. But our delivery and who we decide to deliver it to and the timing of it, does that ever get in the way of it being effective? So watch out for putting your foot in your mouth today. The other thing going on is we have Pluto going direct. Thank Goddess. Oh my, I cannot say enough about it. I'm just so relieved and happy, and I'm going to throw a Pluto party today. That's what I'm going to do. So it's going direct today, tomorrow, and we also have these significant solar storms, enormous solar flares that are erupting at the same time. We also have a very interesting comet that's sweeping in and sweeping clear energies related to what is a third party, a third wheel, an addiction, something extra that we have hanging around that's keeping us from integration, that's keeping us from real connection with the divine, that's keeping us from real relationship between us and another. So it's having us really look at what are we holding on to that is a tether to the old ways. And it's one of the last tendrils that we have to being caught up in the worst kinds of karmic outcomes. So as Pluto goes forward, we can actually start to take action, real, practical action when it comes to reclaiming ourselves from our traumas, from the past, from our karma, from what we're doing that's cyclically stupid and basically not us. We're acting out of layers. It's not who we really are, what we're doing, what we've been doing, what we're caught up in, our choices, how we get ourselves into sticky situations. We're looking at what is all that? Where does that come from? Why am I doing this? Why am I back here again? And now that we have this energy of finally being able to take steps, these changes are fully going to occur in our lives. We've had the building tension of it. We've had the building knowing. We've had the things that we've been doing that have been putting us in a position where now that Pluto goes retrograde, we have to take practical steps to stop doing those things or adjust those things or get help for those things or purge those things. So there is a voluntary letting go. Because when Pluto's direct, it's easier to release. We have what needs to be released building while Pluto is retrograde. So look at it as crap in your guts that builds and builds and builds, and you become more and more constipated and more aware of how full you are of crap. And then at the direct motion, and during the direct motion, this is when we put the squeeze on and we get rid of it. We finally let it go. And we realize how full of crap we really were once we are more empty. I know it's a crude explanation, but that's Pluto. So this is that very first motion of, oh, man, this is going to feel good. We're sitting down to take a karmic dump, basically, is what we're doing. And there's a lot to get rid of. This comet is highlighting what we are hanging on to regarding past needs, a past version of ourselves. And as it comes through and sweeps clear old energies, it's a cleansing process. It's also dealing with some of our greatest taboos, some of our greatest dark energies, the greatest expectations of failure or of certain death, or death anxiety. Comets highlight taboos and fears. So there's a lot here that's being swept away and cleared over the next weeks. And as we get to the 19th of next month, Pluto goes into Aquarius. Those of us that have had Pluto messing with our planets at the last degrees of any sign finally are into a new era. And those that have planets at 0 to 1 degree, or 2 degrees of any sign, are receiving some very deep lessons about internal changes and releasing and letting go that needs to happen in order to advance. So let it go. Think about what it is that's been a growing burden, not just since May 5th, when Pluto went retrograde, but all of our lives. What have we been hanging on to, and what have we not realized over the course of years? Has been a rope that has restricted us from freedom. So I'll pop in later today. I'll talk more about Pluto retrograde in depth, more about the comet and the strange forces that are afoot. See you guys later.